marks the floorboards where the sofa used to stay. A perfect square of golden dust that hasn't moved all day. I'm sitting on the kitchen tile, the cold is in my bones, just listening to the hum of a house that's learned to be alone. The calendar is stuck on June, the day you packed your bags. Now time is just a heavy coat that's worn and torn to rags. I haven't moved the coffee mug you left beside the sink. It's funny how a little thing can push you to the brink. The air is getting thinner now, the shadows getting tall. I'm just another portrait hanging lonely on the wall. It's a still life in an empty room, watching how the silence starts to bloom. I'm a frozen frame, a ghost without a name, in a house that's forgotten how we burn like a flame. Everything is quiet, everything is gray. I'm just the leftover parts of the life you threw away. Yeah, it's a still life, and I'm still here waiting for the move. I caught my own reflection in the window of the door. I don't recognize the person standing there anymore. Your scent is fading off the sheets, a ghost of sandalwood. I'd scrub the memory from the grain if I only thought I could. But the walls have memorized your step, the rhythm of your grace. Now there's just a hollow ring where I used to see your face. They say that art is beautiful because it never breathes, but it's agony to stay behind when everybody leaves. I'm a painting of a heartbreak that nobody's gonna buy. A captures moment of the exact second I said goodbye. It's a still life in an empty room, watching how the silence starts to bloom. I'm a frozen frame, a ghost without a name, in a house that's forgotten how we burn like a flame. Everything is quiet, everything is gray. I'm just the leftover parts of a life you threw away. Yeah, it's a still life, and I'm still here. The dust settles down, the sun goes away. I'm still in the corner, in the same place I stayed. Still life, just life. left the porch light burning, but the moths are all that came. The mailbox is a graveyard for a house that lost its name. I took your pictures down, but the wallpaper is scarred. A lighter shade of memory, and it hits me twice as hard. I'm walking on the floorboards where we used to dance so slow, but the wood just groans beneath me like it wants to let you go. I hear the ghost of a key turning in the lock. I hear the rhythmic ticking of a broken kitchen clock. Every floor creak is a question, every shadow is a sign, but the only thing that's moving is this tired heart of mine. Now it's just echoes in the hallway, searching for the life we used to lead, running through the hollow spaces, bleeding from a ghost that doesn't bleed. I call your name and wait for it to circle back to me, but a hollow sound is all I'll ever be. Yeah, it's just echoes bouncing off the walls of what we used to be. I walked past the bedroom, and I swear I heard you laugh. A sound so thin and silver, like a broken photograph. I reached out for the doorway, but I only touched the air. The smell of rain and jasmine says you're almost standing there. But the mirror's getting colder, and the hallway's getting long. I'm just a lonely singer at the end of a sad song. If I scream loud enough, will the silence finally break? Or is this just the price of every promise that we fake? The walls are closing in, but they're miles and miles apart. There's a canyon in the corridor and a winter in my heart. Now it's just echoes in the hallway, searching for the life we used to lead, running through the hollow spaces, bleeding from a ghost that doesn't bleed. I call your name and wait for it to circle back to me, but a hollow sound is all I'll ever be. Can you hear me? Are you there? Are you there? It's so quiet now, just the wind through the cracks, just the echoes that don't love me back. I stopped before the third ring, I forgot for just a second that we don't do that anymore. Everything is different in the daylight. It's a landscape I don't know. We were supposed to be the ones who never let the fire go. Now I'm standing in the grocery aisle with your favorite brand of tea, and for a heartbeat I forget that you aren't standing next to me. They say you lose a lover and you find somebody new, but nobody tells you what to do when your person was also you. The one who knew my secrets, the one who held my hand, the only soul on this whole earth who seemed to understand. Now you're just the ghost of my best friend, the part of the story where the always has to end. I didn't just lose a kiss, I lost the way I see the world. Now I'm drifting in the dark, my flags are all unfurled. You're the empty seat at dinner, the joke I can't quite tell. I'm living in the heaven that we turned into a hell. Yeah, I'm haunted by the we that didn't make it to the end, by the ghost of my best friend. I saw a movie theater and I turned to see your face, but I only found the shadows and the coldness of the space. We had a secret language, we had 1,000 inside lines. Now I'm reading through the silence, trying to find the signs of where the friendship faded and where the heartbreak started in. How do I start my life again without my closest kiss? The double-edged sword of a love that ran so deep. You were the first start in my waking and the last one in my sleep. I can't replace a partner, I can't find a brand new spark, but how do I find the light you left in every corner of the dark? I lost my navigator, I lost my steady ground. I'm a voice without an answer, just a lonely hollow sound. You're just the ghost of my best friend, the part of the story where the always has to end. I didn't just lose a kiss, I lost the way I see the world. Now I'm drifting in the dark, my flags are all unfurled. You're the empty seat at dinner, the joke I can't quite tell. I'm living in the heaven that we turned into a hell. Yeah, I'm haunted by the we that didn't make it to the end, by the ghost of my best friend. I miss my person, I miss my home. It's one thing to be single, it's another to be alone. Goodbye to the laughter, goodbye to the end. I'm just living with your ghost now. My long lost best friend. blue light of the phone is burning holes through my eyes. I'm scrolling through the years, searching for the light. The city's gone to sleep, tucked beneath a heavy sheet, but I'm still tracing patterns of the places we would meet. The ceiling fan is spinning, cutting shadows on the wall. I'm waiting for a notification that I know will never fall. Everything is louder when the world goes dark. The fridge hums like a motor, the silence leaves a mark. I'm talking to the curtains, I'm arguing with the air, replaying every word we said until I'm back right there. It's the solitude at 3 a.m., the time when every if and word comes back to life again. The walls start closing in on the secrets that I keep in the hours for the broken, while the lucky are asleep. I'm a king of an empty kingdom, a ghost in my own skin, watching the night end and wondering where I begin. Yeah, it's just me and the solitude. At 3 a.m. I walk to the kitchen just to feel the linoleum cold. The coffee's from yesterday, tasting bitter and old. I remember how you look with the moonlight on your hair. Now I reach across the mattress, but there's nothing but the glare of the street lamp through the window, bleeding yellow on the floor. I've never felt this hollow in this house of ours before. They say the sun will rise and the pain will start to fade, but they don't see the wreckage that the midnight hours made. At 3 a.m. there's no armor, there's no place left to hide. It's just the raw and honest truth of everything that died at 3 a.m. is turning gray. The birds are starting to wake, but I'm still in the kitchen with a heart that's starting to break. One more hour, maybe then I'll close my eyes. But for now, it's just the solitude underneath these 3 a.m. skies. I asked the kitchen window where you went last night, but it only showed me shadows in the fading porch light. I asked the hallway mirror if I'm still the man you knew, but it didn't have a witness, and it didn't have a clue. I'm pouring out my heart to the plaster and the pain, trying to find a reason why your memory's getting faint. I'm screaming at the ceiling until my throat is raw and dry, waiting for an echo or a whisper or a lie. But the foundation is solid and the insulation's thick, and the silence in this living room is making me feel sick. 'Cause I'm living with walls that don't talk back, in a house painted blue, fading into black. I give them all my questions, I give them all my pain, but they just stand there frozen while I'm going insane. No, I'm sorry, no, I love you, no, it's gonna be okay. Just the vertical coldness of the life you walked away. Yeah, I'm leaning on the walls, but the walls don't talk back. There's a nail in the corner where a picture used to hang. I remember how the hammer in my shaking fingers sang. Now it's just a tiny wound in a stretch of empty white, like a star that's lost its fire in the middle of the night. I told the bedroom door that I can't sleep without your breath, but it's closed and it's indifference, like a monument to death. Maybe if they crumbled, I could finally breathe the air. Maybe if they broke, I wouldn't see you everywhere. But they're stubborn and they're steady, and they've memorized my grief. They're a prison made of wood and stone that offers no relief. Speak to me, break for me, tell me where she went. But they're just four directions of a life that's already spent. The drywall is cold, it starts to rot whole. Inside of the words, and I'm forced to swallow. I'm waiting for an answer, I'm still waiting. I used to complain that you took up all the space, that I'd wake up with your hair falling right across my face. I'd grumble at the edge, nearly falling off the bed, but I'd give anything tonight for those tangled limbs instead. Now the linens are all straightened, not a wrinkle to be found, and the quiet in this bedroom is the only haunting sound. I reach out in the darkness, a habit I can't break, but I only find the coldness of a long and hollow wake. The moon is drawing silver lines across the duvet cover, highlighting the vacancy where I used to have a lover. Oh, it's the weight of a second pillow, heavy as a stone, light as a willow. It's the pressure of the absence, the gravity of gone, sitting on the mattress from the dusk until the dawn. Have a sinking in the middle, but the other side is high, like a mountain made of cotton that I can't seem to climb yet. It's a heavy, hollow feeling, the weight of a second pillow. I tried to put it in the closet, tried to hide it out of sight, but the bed felt like an ocean that I couldn't cross tonight. So I brought it back and placed it exactly where it stayed, when we used to whisper secrets and the plans that we had made. Now it's just a silent witness to the way I fall apart, a soft and padded anchor for a sinking broken heart. They say that time makes room for healing, that the pain will eventually shrink, but I'm drowning in the fabric, I'm standing on the brink. How can something filled with feathers feel like it's made of lead? How can half a piece of furniture feel like it's better off I'll just close my eyes and pretend it's your shoulder, while the night gets long and the room gets colder. It's just feathers and air, but it's more than I can bear. Just a pillow. I'm walking through the outline of the life we used to lead, tracing every border, every gap where we would bleed. You're not in the kitchen, but I see the shape you left by the window where you stood, now a silhouette of that. I'm moving through the kitchen like a ghost through solid walls, trying not to stumble in the craters of these halls. They say the picture's what matters, the colors and the light, but I'm obsessed with the shadows that I swallow in the night. I'm looking at the margins, the places where you're gone, and finding all the hollow notes inside our favorite song. Now I'm just living in the negative space, the shape of your absence, the ghost of your face. I'm the background noise, the white on the page, the silence that's left when the bird leaves the cage. Everything that isn't you is all I have to hold. I'm living in the empty, I'm shivering in the cold. Yeah, it's a beautiful vacuum, a lonely embrace. Just living in the negative space. If I look at the bed, I don't see the sheets. I see the canyon where our gravity meets. The air has a texture, a weight I can't explain, like a sculpture made of everything we couldn't quite sustain. I'm breathing in the nothing, I'm drinking down the void, trying to rebuild the parts that your exit has destroyed.
The drums kick in, slow, heavy and distorted. The music feels claustrophobic.
It's the hole in the conversation, the pause before the high. It's the almost in the hello and the forever in goodbye. I'm defined by what is missing, I'm the frame without the art, a jagged little emptiness in the middle of my heart.
stains that eventually fade into feedback. Now I'm just living in the negative space, the shape of your absence, the ghost of your face. I'm the background noise, the white on the page, the silence that's left when the bird leaves the cage. Everything that isn't you is all I have to hold. I'm living in the empty, I'm shivering in the It's the space where your hand was. It's the space where you left. I'm a sinking ship with no forward or aft. Just the outline, just catch. Standing on the hollow of a broken ledge.
I set the table out of habit, reaching for 2 plates before I remember that time doesn't care how long a person waits. The steam rises from the bowl and disappears into the air, just like the way you used to sit in that high-backed wooden chair. The salt is on the right, the pepper's on the left, in this little ritual of the lonely and bereft. I used to find the quiet peaceful, used to love the evening calm, but now the silence is a weight pressing down upon my palm. I'm chewing on the memories, I'm swallowing the pride of a man who has no secrets left that he can't tell inside. It's just silent dinners for one, underneath the fading of a cold and winter sun. No stories from the office, no how was your day, just the sound of the evening as it withers away. I'm feeding the hunger that food can't touch, missing the nothing that used to mean so much. Yeah, the table's too long and the room is too wide for these silent dinners with a ghost by my side. The television's flickering, but the volume's turned to 0. I'm watching shadows on the wall, looking for a hero. The candles that we bought for us are melting in the tray. I light them just to feel a heat that's going to go away. I find myself whispering, please pass the wine. Then I realize the only hand reaching out is mine. They say the kitchen is the heart of every happy home, but what do they call it when you're cooking all alone? feels like it's weeping, punctuated by long pauses, the musical version of a sigh. It's just silent dinners for one underneath the fading of a cold and winter sun. No stories from the office, no how was your day, just the sound of the evening as it withers away. I'm feeding a hunger that food can't touch, missing the nothing that used to mean so much. Wash the dish, I'll dry the glass, I'll wait for the night to slowly pass. Just one chair, just one light, bon appetit to the ghost tonight. I'm standing in the entryway where we used to drop our coats, but the air is thin and biting, and the dust is all that floats. I see the height marks on the doorframe from the year we felt so tall. Now I'm just a shadow creeping softly down the hall. The mailbox is overflowing with flyers for life of a happy little husband and a perfect little wife. But the welcome mat is lying and the porch lights burnt out blue, and every corner of the ceiling is whispering of you. I'm a stranger in the kitchen, I'm a guest inside the bath, trying to find a way to walk a cold and gravel path. 'Cause it's a house, no longer a home, just a collection of wood and of chrome. The spirit's gone missing, the fire's gone cold, and the stories we planted have started to mold. It's four walls and a roof, but it's missing
and the walls are getting thin. Is paid, but the price was too high. Underneath the ceiling that's learned how to cry. I'm just a ghost in a hollow frame, in a house that doesn't know my name. I built a city in the clouds where we were supposed to grow old, with a garden in the back and a story yet untold. I bought the tickets for the train that never left the bay. I memorized the things I thought we'd find the time to say. But now the streets are empty and the windows are all dark, in the middle of the forever that failed to leave a spark. I'm walking through the blueprints of a life that didn't happen, watching all the golden sails just shivering and flapping. It's a map of a country that doesn't have a name, and I'm the only citizen left to carry all the shame. They're just uninhabited dreams, tearing at the edges and bursting at the seams. A playground with no children, a song with no one to sing, a hollowed out promise, a wedding without a ring. I'm wandering through the halls of what we almost were. Everything's a ghost now, everything's a blur. Yeah, I'm the keeper of the silence, or so it seems, in a world full of uninhabited dreams. I see the ghost of our daughter playing in the yard, the one we never had, and it hits me twice as hard. I see the gray in our hair as we sit out on the porch, but the vision starts to flicker like a dying windswept torch. It's a cruel kind of haunting to miss what wasn't real, to mourn the very fabric of a hope I can't unfeel. I'm a trespasser in a future that was closed before it opened. I'm a healer in a hospital where everything is broken. Is it a lie if I believed it with every drop of blood, or just a castle built of sand that's drowning in the mud? Let it burn, let the phantom skylight fall.
isn't anything at all. Just uninhabited dreams, tearing at the edges and bursting at the seams. A playground with no children, a song with no one to sing, a hollowed out promise, a wedding without a ring. I'm wandering through the halls of what we almost were. Everything's a ghost now, everything's a blur. I'm the keeper of the silence, or so it seems, in a world full of uninhabited dreams. I'll pack the boxes of the things that never were. I'll lock the door on the memories of her. Just an empty room in an empty head, walking through a life that stayed in bed, uninhabited, just me. I found the atlas in the glove box of my car, with a circle round a town that feels so bittersweet and far. We trace the highways with our thumbs back in the month of May, planning every overlook and every place we'd stay. But the ink has started bleeding from the coffee and the rain, and the lines we drew are nothing but a shortcut to the pain. I'm driving past the exits that we said we'd finally take, staring at the surface of a cold and frozen lake. The GPS is silent, she don't know where you are, and I'm just chasing ghosts beneath the solitary star. Now I'm just holding on to maps to nowhere, following the roads that lead to used to be. Every mile is a memory I can't outrun, and every horizon is a setting sun without me. From a night we couldn't sleep, promising a mountain that was way too high and steep. I see the X we marked for the house we'd one day buy, but it's just a patch of static in the corner of my eye. The compass is spinning, I've lost my north for good. I'm standing in the clearing where our future should have stood. You didn't leave a trail, you didn't leave a sign, you just took the destination and you left me with the line. I'm burning up the rubber, I'm running out of fuel, in a race against a memory that's beautiful and cruel. Where does the road go when the ending isn't there? It just turns into the dust and the thin and mountain You didn't leave a trail, you didn't leave a sign, you just took the destination and you left me with the line. I'm burning up the rubber, I'm running out of fuel, in a race against a memory that's beautiful and cruel. Where does the road go when the ending isn't there? It just turns into the dust and the thin and mountain air. No more turnoffs, no more are we there yet. Just the smell of the pine and the taste of regret. I'll just keep driving till the lines all disappear, because nowhere is better than being without you here. Just nowhere. I've mastered the way to make a single cup of tea without looking for your shadow sitting next to me. I've learned how to talk to the plants on the sill and keep the house quiet, keep the heart still. I used to fear the silence like a storm at the door. Now it's just the sound of my feet on the floor. I'm becoming an expert at the things I didn't choose, like finding the beauty in everything I lose. They say that practice makes a person perfect, it's true, but I never wanted to be perfect at being without you. Now I'm curating the hollow, I'm framing the cold in a gallery of stories that'll never be told. Oh,
with no one to lead. It's the science of hiding the parts that still bleed. It's a masterpiece of misery, a talent I've grown. Welcome to the art of being alone. I can go to the movies and sit in the middle and solve all the parts of my own little riddle. I don't have to check if the dinner's right, or worry about who's taking up the bed tonight. But there's a sharp kind of skill in the way that I breathe, pretending I'm fine with the way that you leave. I'm a sculptor of shadows, a poet of gone, writing 2020 sip versions of a tragic swan song. It's not just a feeling, it's a craft, it's a trade, to live in the wreckage of the promises we made. You have to be steady, you have to be tough, to look at an empty room and say it's enough. But the canvas is heavy and the ink is too deep, and I'm losing the secrets I promised to keep. I'm practicing the art of being alone in a kingdom of dust on a cold wooden throne. It's a delicate brushstroke of fine and okay. While I paint over memories of you every day. It's a dance in the kitchen with no one to lead. It's the science of hiding the parts that still bleed. It's a masterpiece of misery, a talent I've grown. Welcome to the art, just me The exhibit is closing, the lights are all low. I'm the only one here with nowhere to go. It's a beautiful picture, but the colors are wrong. I've been alone for a little too long, just me. I finally opened up the box beneath the stairs. The one I told myself was filled with ghosts and old affairs. The tape was yellow, peeling back like sunburned skin to show
the frozen world we used to be living in. There's a ticket stub from the show in 2025, and a dried up rose that doesn't smell like anything anymore. I reached for a photo of us by the sea, but there's a layer of gray between your face and me. I tried to blow it off, to see the light in your eyes, but the more I touch it, the more the spirit dies. It's settling on the mantle, it's settling in my throat like a heavy velvet, suffocating cold. It's just dust on the memories, ash on the fire, the slow, quiet death of a burning desire. I'm tracing your name in the grime on the glass, watching the shadows of everything pass. It's getting harder to see who we were when the sharp edges soften and the colors all blur. Yeah, the time is a desert and I'm losing the glory to the dust on the pages of our story. I remember your laugh like a song on the breeze, but now it's just static and the rust in the trees. The sweaters in the closet still hold your shape, but they're starting to fray like a worn out tape. I haven't swept the floor in a week or maybe 10, because I'm scared if I clean I'll never see you again. Every particle of dirt is a second that we've lost, a tiny little fragment of the heavy, heavy cost. If I wipe it all away, is the surface just bare? Was there ever any substance, or was it only air? I'm coughing on the wreckage, I'm choking on the past. Nothing this fragile was there but alas. Let it settle, let it cover, let it bury me deep in the graveyard of the secrets that I couldn't even keep. the gray start to weave. It's a code, it's a shroud, a silent scream that's getting loud. Just us on you, just us on me. The kettle whistled half an hour ago, but I just sat and watched the winter garden grow. The steam has vanished, the porcelain is cold, like a story that we left only halfway told. I'm staring at the surface, the amber and the brown, watching a single leaf of tea spinning slowly down. It's 2026 and the world is moving fast, but I'm still tethered to a Tuesday in the past. I haven't tasted it, I just like the weight in my hand. A little bit of warmth I can still understand, but the heat is a liar, it never wants to stay. Just like the way you slipped through my fingers today. It's just cold tea and quiet thoughts, counting up the battles that we never should have fought. The sugar didn't take, the honey turned to lead. I'm replaying every I love you that we ever said. The room is getting darker, the clock is running slow. I'm holding on to something that I should let go. Yeah, it's a bitter kind of mercy, a hollow kind of blood. Just cold tea and quiet thoughts. I remember how you liked it, 2 sugars and some cream, back when we were living inside a waking dream. Now I make a cup for 2 and I leave yours by the sink. It's a lonely kind of medicine, don't you think? The silence is so heavy I can hear my own blood, and the memories are rising like a slow-moving flood. I'm a philosopher, never a student of the gone, waiting for a morning that's never gonna dawn. If I drink, it doesn't mean that the waiting is done. If I pour it out, have I finally won? The liquid is a mirror, reflecting back a ghost of the person in this kitchen that I miss the most. It's cold, it's dark, it's over. So why am I still here, drowning in a teacup, paralyzed by fear? One sip for the road, one sip for the pain. Tomorrow I'll probably do it all again. The cup is empty, but the heart is full of not cold tea. Quiet thoughts, just thoughts. I'm leaning back against the baseboard in the hall, tracing the tiny cracks that spiderweb the wall. The corner by the heater is starting to curl away, revealing layers of a yellow from a much better day. I remember when we rolled the summer linen on the grave. We laughed until we cried and we ignored the coming rain. Now I'm just a witness to the slow and steady flakes, falling like the promises that everybody breaks. Time is a sandpaper, rough and unkind, stripping back the colors that we left behind. I could grab a scraper, I could start it all anew, but I'm terrified of losing the last physical part of you. So I'm just sitting here, watching the paint peel, waiting for my heart to remember how to feel. Every little chip that hits the dusty floor is a second I don't hear your key turning in the door. It's a slow motion wreck, it's a silent gray decay, watching the house we built just flake and fall away. Yeah, it's a masterpiece of over, and I'm the only one who's real. While I'm sitting here, watching the paint peel. The humidity is rising, making bubbles in the white, like the secrets that we tried to keep buried out of sight. I see a patch of eggshell where your shoulder used to lean, and a scuff mark from your suitcase, the loudest thing I've seen. The room is losing its skin, showing the bare wood underneath. I'm holding on to oxygen through clenched and shivering teeth. The world is turning outside, 2026 is on the move, but I'm stuck in the gallery of a love piece of the kitchen, there goes a piece of the hall. I'm just watching the damage slide off of the wall. Don't fix it, don't touch it, just let it be. I'm waiting for the chips to cover me. I woke up and reached for the light on the left, in a room that's been robbed, in a heart full of theft. I caught a glimpse in the hallway, a face in the glass, but I didn't see me, just the years as they pass. The eyes look the same, a dark shade of brown, but the light that you lit has been flickering down. I'm wearing my clothes and I'm walking my walk, but I don't recognize the ghost when I hear myself talk. I used to be us, I used to be we. Now I'm searching the wreckage for a version of me, but the parts that you loved, you took when you left, leaving a hollow, a beautiful heft. Now there's strangers in my skin, and I don't know where to let them begin. The person you kissed, the person you knew, is a shadow that vanished the same time as you. I'm a house with no tenant, a lock with no key, just a crowd of not quite where I used to be. I'm looking for home, but the walls are too thin, with all of these strangers living under my skin. I try to remember the things that I like before all my dreams were so cruelly hyped. Did I like the rain? Did I like the quiet? Or was I just a passenger in your heart's riot? I'm trying on hobbies, I'm trying on names, but everything feels like a child playing games. I'm an actor on stage with the lines all erased, a 2026 version of a man who's misplaced. Is anyone left in the marrow and bone, or am I just a statue made of salt and of stone? I'm scratching at the surface, I'm digging for the soul, but the more that I find, the more I lose control. Get out, get out, whoever you are. You're a parasite just a flickering candle in a world with no light. I'll just close my eyes and wait for the dawn to see which stranger is still hanging on. I'm making breakfast for the shadows again, counting the cracks where the sunlight creeps in. I pulled out the seat on the right-hand side, the one where you sat with your eyes open wide. Now the wood doesn't creak and the cushion is still. It's a heavy kind of quiet that no one can fill. The table is a desert of oak and of dust, a monument built out of broken down trust. I used to complain about the noise that you made, the hum of your song, the way that you played. But the silence is screaming, it's ringing so loud, like a thunderless sky or a ghost in a crowd. And it's the sound of an empty chair, a vibration of nothing in the cold morning air. It's a note that's not played, it's a word that's not said. It's the heaviest weight at the foot of the bed. I'm listening for a shift, for a sigh, for a spark, but I'm just hearing the echoes of life in the grave. Yeah, the loudest thing I've ever had to bear is the deafening sound of an empty chair. I caught myself waiting for you to chime in, to tell me that 2026 is a sin. But the air stayed unmoving, the dust didn't stir. Everything's sharp where we used to be blurred. The fabric is cold where your warmth used to be. It's an island of never in a used to be sea. I reach for your hand, but I only find space. The hollowest geometry in this lonely place. Music a chair if no one is sitting. just in case, to hold the shape of your face, but it's just wood. And it's just thread. And I'm just a man who's better off dead. To sleep in technicolor dreams, but I'm waking up where the light always bleeds. You took the red of roses, the blue of the sky. You took the gold from the morning when you said goodbye. Now I'm standing on the corner 2026, looking for a spark in a pile of wet sticks. The TV is static, the coffee is ash. I'm a Polaroid fading in a cold white flash. I remember when the grass felt like emerald fire, and your voice was a ribbon on a silver wire. But the saturation dropped when you walked out the door, and I don't see the vibrance in the world anymore. I'm just left behind in the gray, in the middle of a long and colorless day. No shadows to fall, no highlights to find, just the charcoal remains of the life we define. I'm a ghost in a sketch, I'm a slims on the wall, waiting for a season that never will fall. The rainbow is gone, and the world is away, and I'm just left behind in the gray. The asphalt is slate, and the ocean is lead. It's like living in a movie where the actors are dead. I try to remember the tin of your eyes, but the fog is so thick, it's a perfect disguise. I bought a new shirt in a shade of bright wine, but as soon as I wore it, it lost all its shine. It's not just the weather, it's not just the rain, it's the way that the sorrow has bleached every grain. Everything's muted, everything's flat, a heart like a stone and a soul like a mat. Is there a film
can peel back? Or is the end of the tunnel just a different shade of black? Give me a bruise, give me a burn, just give me a color that I don't have to mostly on the lower strings, feeling heavy and monochromatic, slowly fading into a single droning note. I'm just left behind in the grave, in the middle of a long and colorless day. No shadows to follow, no highlights to find, just a charcoal remains of the life we define. I'm a ghost in a sketch, I'm a smears on the wall, waiting for a season that never will black and white, and all the shades between. The loneliest movie that I've ever seen. No blue, no gold, just the story of getting old, left behind in the grave. The sun hits the window at 4:15 and stretches the ghosts out across the wood floor. I'm watching the dust motes dance in the light, in the spot where you stood before that last fight. There's a mark from your heel near the edge of the rug, a permanent scar from a final cold shrug. The house is a sundial that's stuck on the past, measuring shadows that were never meant to last. I try to step over with dark parts of the room, but I'm walking through a garden that forgot how to bloom. I'm chasing the outlines of where you used to be, but the longer I look, the less I
had it all. Now the angle is different. The perspective is wrong. Like a 2026 version of a funeral song. The wood is getting colder as the evening draws in, and the shapes start to stretch until they're paper thin. I'm standing in the center of a hollowed out frame, waiting for the darkness to whisper your name. If I turn on the lights, will you disappear? Or is the brightness the thing that I actually fear? Because in the dimness, you're almost right here. A flicker of movement, a phantom so near. Stay in the corners, stay in the cracks. I'm not ready for the sun to show the things that I The sun's going down. The floor is all black. There's no trail of light to lead you back. Just the wood and the cold and a story grown old. Shadows, only shadows. I looked at the photos we took by the lake and realized I'm wearing a smile that is fake. But it's not just the look, it's the person behind. There's a hole in the logic, a gap in the mind. I went to the mirror to wash off the day, but the steam didn't hide what's been fading away. My reflection is jagged, the edges are thin. I'm looking for where I'm supposed to begin. I used to be whole when your hand was in mine, like a puzzle where all of the pieces align. But you packed up your things and you headed for shore, and you took parts of me that I can't find anymore. Now I'm just missing pieces of me, searching for islands in a wide empty sea, a puzzle unfinished on a cold kitchen table. I'm trying to stand, but I'm just not that able. There's a tried to fill the void with the work and the noise, with the habits of men and the temper of boys. But the music sounds different, the colors are flat, and I can't find the me that used to be that. You took my perspective, you took how I sleep, you took all the promises I meant to keep. I'm a book with the chapters all torn from the spine, a collection of words that I used to call mine. Did you leave them in boxes? Did you throw them away? The parts of my soul that were meant to stay. I'm reaching for memories, but my fingers go through, because the best parts of me were the parts that were you. I'm hollow, I'm broken, I'm less than a man, trying to build back the world as fast as I under the bed, in the back of the closet, inside of my head. But the box is empty and the light is low. I guess some parts of us just have to go missing. Still missing.